Hello and welcome to the webinar. If you're watching the recorded version of this, it was held live on Tuesday the 12th of December at 7:30 in the evening. My name's David Jones and I do this a couple of times a month with Aondo Markets. I'll just put the risk warning up while I'm talking. So if you're familiar with financial trading, then social copy trading is, I think maybe the best analogy is, rather than you trying to be the superstar striker on the pitch, it's all about you being a good manager and picking a team of traders whose trades are carried out automatically on your account. So that's what tonight is about. It's all about this idea of copy / social trading. So I have been involved in the trading industry for getting on for 20 years, but I'm a fairly late convert to this. I think it's only the last 18 months or so that I've been involved in it. But I think it's a really interesting way of trading. It's a way, if you're trading already, of gaining additional exposure to the markets and maybe trying to just tune out some of the week-to-week volatility when it comes to trading. So let's get started. We're not going to spend too much time on PowerPoint tonight. So we're going to do this right from scratch with a real account with real money in. So it's not going to be the theory of how it all works. It's going to be actually doing it for real. But just to go, we can use PowerPoint really for the structure of tonight, just to remind me what I need to talk about next. So the basic principles, what we are looking to do is identify profitable traders. So people who are profitable, maybe not day to day or week to week, but have a good medium to long term profitable track record. And then if we identify some of those, from that we look to build a portfolio, so build our own portfolio of traders who we want to follow. And then what happens is when we activate that portfolio, their trades will be carried out on our account without us doing anything. So it's like if you have managed funds, I suppose, is an easy comparison within a pension or other some sort of investment sort of vehicle. But you can also manage risk. It's really important. You know, it's not just setting these people up on your account, pushing a button, and then off they go. And you wake up tomorrow, you might have doubled your money, you might have halved your money. You can put risk controls in place. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well, and then we'll look at how we monitor these positions via the two Aondo trading platforms. Okay, so first of all, let's start off. What we need, we can start right from scratch. So I've got an account. I've got a couple of accounts set up, but the account I use for this has got about £1,200 in, so it's real money, my real money. We'll log into the account. We'll look at the rankings list. We'll look at the traders we've got to choose from. We'll look at various sort criteria, and then we'll drill down into all the data. So let me just flip. Hang on a second. Where is it? Hang on. I'm doing this tonight because of the weather. I'm stuck at home at the moment, so I'm doing this tonight just on one screen. So I've normally got a couple of screens to sort of wiggle around on, but tonight I'm stuck on one. So just bear with me while I just sort this out. Okay. So we've gone to Aondo's website, aondo.com, and what we're looking at here is the page, log into your account. So I'm going to log into my account, and then we'll get cracking. So I think I did log in before I started this evening. So there's the page that I end up on. So if I look at my account, so this is my account, just over £1,200 in. I'm not running any portfolios at the moment, so I think I am following people, but I've stopped trading before I started this webinar this evening. So what I want to do is build up a list of people to follow, or start looking at people who might be worth following on my account, who can hopefully make me some money. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the rankings list here. So I click on that. So what this is a league table of traders available to follow. So how it works is, and you could do this yourself, if people are trading through the Aondo platform, if they want to, they can make their track records visible, good or bad. So you can see how well or how badly they've done. And if you want to, you can choose to follow these traders. So if I look at just at the top here, in this time period, 1 year, so there are 655 traders found over the last year. If I sort it by P&L, so here we go. So the best performing trader over the last 12 months on the Aondo platform who's making their track record available to view is this person here, Raul Bermudo. So Raul Bermudo, over the last 12 months, has made an absolutely stonking 187%. So return over the last 12 months. So if you had £1,000 in your account and you followed all of Raul's trades, your £1,000 would now be worth £2,870. Okay, the next best performer is Peter Lloyd, up 176%. Barbara, up 154. Giuseppe, and so it goes down. So you can see we can scroll down. So if we scroll down to the 10th best performer, is up 70%. That's still that is a very acceptable level of return. Let's just jump forward to page number 5. Here we go. We have maybe down here, maybe slightly more realistic return. So the 41st best performer is Cassoni, and up still a very respectable 29%, so nearly 2.5% a month over the last 12 months. Okay, so that's how, this is a really sort of top level view of what we're looking at here. So how well they performed over this period. We have lots of other bits of data which we're going to look at in a second, but over here on the right we have the chart. So this is always interesting, I think, because you will occasionally get traders who've had an absolutely terrible 10 months and then basically go all or nothing for the last 2 months. So end up risking everything and get lucky for the last couple of months. And we really, from my point of view, I don't want to be following traders like that. What I want is exactly this, actually, a nice, smooth P&L chart here. But this really isn't the whole story. Let's just stick with these headline profits for a second, because if you're trading with Aondo, you can make your track record available, but you can also make it available if you're just trading on a demo account. Okay, so some of these people may well be trading with, inverted commas, play money. Now, one of my first filter criteria is that if I'm going to risk my real money following their trades, at the very least, I expect them to be trading with real money as well. So I can filter these out straight away. And actually, the first two here, these are not trading with real money. So when they have an R next to their name, like here, that means they are a real money trader. So they're actually using their own cash to trade. These two at the top, as great as their returns have been, they're trading on demo accounts. So my very first criteria, I've got no interest in anybody who's trading on a demo account. Your criteria may be different, but that's mine. So at the moment we've got 655. We're going to filter out and just look at real money traders. So I click on RMT here. And yeah, you can see big change. So we're now down to just, well, not just, we've still got 214 traders to choose from, but it's taken out any of those who are trading just on a demo account. So at the top, we have Barbara. So Barbara's return over the last 12 months has been 155%. Then we have Giuseppe, who's cropped up a few times on these webinars, up nearly 150%. The Venture up 117%. Big drop then. Brutus up 52%. Positive 48%, and so it goes on. So we have our league table of traders to choose from, and I filtered this out based on real money. You can change the time period, of course, and I think maybe the best way of doing this is to drill down. I think to start with, a slightly longer time period. You can go since Inc., so since they actually started trading. So there are some people on here who do have track records going back a couple of years, like for example Smarty Trader. So here we go. Smarty Trader has made 192% since they first started trading on the platform. We'll stick with this one and have a look at this one in a bit more depth. Edel Metal, 137%. But the headline profit figure is not the only important thing, I should say, because it's all well and good making 100% return. But let's say if you traded for a year and made 100% return, but along the way you ended up giving back 95% of your profits before you ended the year with 100% return. For most people, that's a level of volatility that really isn't acceptable. So this number here, I'd suggest, is the next almost as important thing after the profits, the drawdown. So drawdown is how much of the open profits were given back along the way. So let's say you make £1,000 over the next 3 months. Then your account in month 4 and 5 drops to £750. So you give back £250 worth of profit. Then over months 6, 7, and 8, it goes up to £1,500. That drop from 1,000 to 750, that's your drawdown. So in that example, that's a 25% drawdown. So you've given back 25% of your profit. So this drawdown figure, I think, is very important. In an ideal world, what we want is a nice chunky profit figure and a relatively low drawdown figure. So for example, at the top, Smarty Trader made 192%, drew down 23% along the way. Who's got a low drawdown? Positive. So Positive down here made 78% profit and only gave back 13% along the way, whereas we have someone like maybe Giuseppe made 103% profit, but gives back about a third along the way. So it's all about what sort of appetite for volatility do you have. Okay, so there's our headline figure. I think straight away we've got a clutch of interesting traders to choose from. So let's find out a bit more information. Let's have a look at Smarty Trader. Let me just see, am I actually following this person already? Let me have a quick look. Is this person? Let me just take Barbara out for now, or maybe that one out. So that one out. Okay, and I'll jump back to the rankings list. Okay, so Sync and the P&L. Let's take a look at Smarty Trader. So let's click on here. So when we click on the name, we get an awful lot more information about what they've done and how they actually achieve these profits. So let's go through this. So we've got here a chart at the top. So the orangey line, that's Smarty's P&L. That's the return that Smarty Trader has made. And down here, the purple dashed line, that's the DAX. That's the German stock market index. So it gives you, a benchmark as to how they perform. So Smarty Trader has been on the platform since, we can see it up here, the 8th of February 2016. Okay, so we've got a track record going back, what's that, 22 months for Smarty Trader. And there's the P&L. If you look down here, volatility 10%, I think that's relatively low. Number of trades done over the period, there we go, 1,500 nearly. Winning trades 90%. That always makes me a bit nervous when someone's got a relatively, and that is a relatively high percentage of winning trades, because it suggests that maybe they have a problem taking losses. Winning months is a lot more realistic. About 2/3 of months end up being winners. Last activity, I think that's wrong actually, 3rd of September. I think that looks wrong. I think they've traded since then. I think there's a bit of a glitch there. We'll ignore that. And then the interesting thing, even though we've got a track record going back to Feb 2016, they've only been a real money trader since June 2017. Okay, and you'll often see this, that some people will trade with a demo for a while and then will start trading with real money. So I think that's another thing to be aware of. We do have this year and a half plus of track record for Smarty Trader, but most of that has been built up with demo money. Okay, so it's only since June they've been trading with real money. But let's not to worry. Let's stick with this person for now. Then I think down here, this is always really interesting. This bit down here, their actual month-on-month performance. Now, not every month can be a winner, but what I'm looking for is hopefully, traders who can string together profitable quarters. So I accept they're not going to make money every month, but hopefully, quarter on quarter, we're going to see a decent level of return. So what we have here for Smarty Trader, 2016. Feb, so massive profits there, so a lot of risk taken there, I think. So 2016 made 103% for the year. 2017, again, big standout month there. That's probably the only big standout month, and then more realistic levels of return, leaving this person up 43% for the year to date. And I think clearly, not surprisingly, being a bit more cautious when it comes to trading with real money rather than trading on a demo. But a 40% return is still not to be sniffed at. Then we can see, if we scroll down a bit more information, asset allocation. So where were they trading? Lots of traders on the AONDO platform, because they started in Germany, trade the German index. And the German index is fine. It's a really volatile stock market index, much more volatile than the FTSE here in the UK, and arguably more volatile than the US indices. But you can see 87% of Smarty Traders' trades have been done on the DAX, a little bit on the Bund, 7% on the Bund, and about 4% on silver. How the monthly performance breaks down, so where they made and lost their money. over the month. A few more risk metrics down there, and then any open positions they're running and any recently closed positions down there as well. So you can get a real taste for how they've made their money, what they like to trade, what it looks like month on month, and how that all fits in to their overall performance. And that's just sort of clicking on their name from that screen right at the start, from that rankings list. Let's just jump back onto PowerPoint quickly. So we've done all of this. We've looked at the rankings list. We've the sort criteria I use is P&L, but keeping a wary eye on drawdown. Then we drill down into the data. So what's next? Well, the obvious thing next is to start following these traders. So if we think, well, actually, Smarty Trader might fit with my approach to the markets, I'd quite like to follow this person. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start following them, access the portfolio builder, look at levels of risk per trader, and actually execute that on a live account. So let's jump in. So let's say we decide we quite like Smarty Trader as a trader, and we would like to mimic their trades. So it's just as easy as clicking on follow down here. So we'll click on follow. And what this does, this adds Smarty Trader to my portfolio. I can have up to 5 traders in the portfolio. So here are 4 before. Edel Metal, good long-term track record for Edel Metal. DAX Call 3, Giuseppe, who was near the top, Barbara, who was near the top, and Smarty Trader, who I've just added. So these are my 5 traders. At the moment, I am not following their trades. So their trades are not getting carried out on my account until I execute on live account down here. And what it shows me here, this is the blue dashed line is an idealized version of my profit or loss. So if I'd have followed these people, if I could go back in time and follow these people from a year ago, then I would be up at the moment, up here, about just over 75%, isn't it, up at this sort of level up here. Okay, no, 750%, sorry. So I'd be up an absolutely ridiculous amount of money if I was following these people. Unfortunately, of course, you can't go back in time and follow them. But it gives me an idealized version of what the past would be like. But the usual disclaimer applies. Past performance is no guarantee of future performance. But before we do anything, let's look at risk. Okay, because managing risk is really important, because traders do go off the boil. We do see a trader who has a great track record, suddenly hits a bit of an odd patch, and things start going really wrong. So what we want to do is look at ways of managing the risk. So what we can do, let's pick on Smarty Trader. Let's click on settings up here. So click on settings. Okay, so this is set order size Smarty Trader. Let's pretend that Smarty Trader has got a £100,000 account, and I have got a £10,000 account. Now, if Smarty Trader does a trade on the Dow, where they're risking losing 1% of their account. So in that example, it would be they're risking losing £1,000. The same trade will be done on my account, but not at the same size, because my account is a tenth the size of Smarty Traders. But it all works on percentage basis. So if they do a trade where their stop loss is 1.5% away from where they got in, the same size trade will be done on my account. But what I can do, I can dial that risk up or down. So down here, please select 1 times if you want to follow this top trader proportionally. So what this means is, if Smarty Trader does a trade on the DAX where Smarty's risking losing 2%, if I'm at 1 times, the trade will be done on my account where the risk of loss is 2%. So if I've got a £10,000 account, then the risk of loss on that trade will be 2% of that, or £200. But what I can do, if I'm really confident about Smarty Trader, I can bump that up if I want to. So I'm taking on 3 times the risk that person is. Or if it's a new trader and I'm not quite sure, I can knock that back down. Okay, so I can choose to trade a quarter of the risk they're trading, or a half, or a 3/4, or match it. Let's say I think, well, actually, Smarty Trader, we've got this long track record, but has only been real money since June. I'm going to bump that risk down to half. So if they risk losing 1% of their account, I want to risk losing 0.5%. So what that means is, it doesn't mean my stop will be closer. It just means the size of the trade, X pounds per point, will be dialed right down. So let's confirm settings. Here we go. Confirm settings on there. I can go into all of these people and just to sort of dial it up or down accordingly. I've got this set at really conservative levels. It must be from the last webinar I did. I dialed the risk right down for everybody. Let's just bump those up. So I can set individual risk levels per trade, and of course that changes my overall P&L if I dial the risk right down. So now I'm following these 5 people. Let's click on Giuseppe just to see why I'm following this person here. So I'm assuming he's a man, but might not be. So Giuseppe, again, member since April 2016. Only real money though since June 2017, but it's done all right since then. Actually, it's done okay. It's given back a bit over the last couple of weeks or so. Let's just jump down here. But again, it lost 22% last year. That's interesting. So lost money last year and has made money. It's made 164% this year. And you can see from this list down here, trades a mix of everything. So for me, I quite like Giuseppe because this person does trade a little bit of everything. So I think it's maybe a more interesting approach, or it blends out some of the traders who just trade sort of solely on the DAX, the German 30 index. So that's it. I've got my portfolio of traders, so I can build them up. I can take people out if I change my mind and go and add in other traders. But once I'm ready to go, and I've picked my sort of team, inverted commas, of traders, I can click Execute on Live Account. There are a couple of sort of warning screens that come up now. So there are a couple of steps before it starts happening for real. So all of these traders are active, so clearly they'll all have some trades open. So they'll be doing some trade. They'll have, let's say for example, Giuseppe yesterday may have bought the Dow Jones index when the Dow was maybe 80 points lower than it is today. So what I can do, I can choose to open up trades that they have at the moment. But of course, if Giuseppe bought the Dow yesterday when the Dow was 80 points lower than it is now, I don't get in at yesterday's price. I get in wherever the market's trading now. So I've got no interest in following their open trades. I just want to follow any new trades. So I'm not going to click any of this. So any new trades they do, I'll follow them. So I'll click on Execute Portfolio, and that's just going to go through, and then we'll be up and running. There we go. So so that's it now. So this is live. So I've got £1,227 in my account. I've got no P&L at the moment because clearly none of my 5 traders has done a trade yet. Maybe we'll get lucky and someone will do a trade in the next 10 minutes. Oh, there we go. I spoke too soon. Barbara's just done a trade. So Barbara has just done a trade. You saw that happen in actual real time. So Barbara's just done a trade on the FTSE, UK 100. Tiny size though, so it's 4p a point. So the level of risk dialed in for me is 0.04, which is 4p a point at 64.90. No, sorry, price 74.99 is where the trade was done. There's the market now. So there's my running P&L. So if any new trades go through, you'll see them appear. But what I can also do, so I've got £1,227 in my account. I think the Ayondo minimum is £2,000, but you can set a level of risk on your account. So let me just click on this, loss protection. So what this means is this is, in effect, putting a financial stop loss on my account. So I can say, okay, so I'm running all these trades, and they've all put stop losses on, these people I'm following. But I can say, if my account balance drops to, let's say £780, close all trades, and stop following any new trades. Okay, so even though I've got that in my account, I will put that in there and say if my level falls to that, get me out of everything and stop following new trades. Okay, so your account balance doesn't necessarily have to be the full amount that you're at risk. So I hope that makes sense. It's another level of risk control, and I think risk control, it is really important. When I first started doing this, I was really, even though I traded for quite some time, I was really a bit worried about having people just, you know, not trading on my account, but trades going through on my account automatically. But actually this does give you another element of control doing that. What you also have, which I think is picked up here, this Ayondo negative balance protection. So what that means is, I'm sure if you've traded spread bets or CFDs before, you'd be familiar with the usual disclaimer, you can lose more than your initial deposit. With Ayondo you can't, so your balance can never go negative with Ayondo, so you won't lose more than what you deposited. Okay, so if you do get a massive move that goes crunching through all the stop losses, you won't lose more than your account balance. Okay, so that's it. So that's we're up and running. Let's see what happens. These are some recently closed positions. I think this is when I last ran this webinar, end of November. So I closed all the positions ahead of the webinar. So you can see your recent closed positions, all of that sort of stuff. And now all you have to do is just monitor it. I think in the early days it's quite sort of tempting and easy to be glued to it during the day to see how all the trades are doing. But now I maybe look at it once or twice a week just to make sure nothing's gone completely crazy. And what I use is this view here. It's very easy to log in through a browser and see what's going on. There's only one trade at the moment. But what you also have, if I go up here, go to Trade Hub. So Trade Hub is Aondo's sort of fully fledged trading platform, shall we say. So if you've traded yourself, you'll be familiar with this sort of layout. So this is your traditional sort of type of trading platform. And you can do self-directed trading, where you're doing your own trading, or we can flip over and go into my social trading. So we'll see on the social platform, we should see, there we go. There's the trades that Barbara it was, isn't it? There's the trade that Barbara just did. So if you want to see stuff in a lot more depth, we can go into Trade Hub and just see, okay, what's going on. So I've got £300 almost in margin tied up on this trade. Bought at 74.99. Bought was it 4p? There we go, 4p a point, following Barbara there. Stop loss, take profit, all that sort of stuff. And I can do the usual stuff. I can see history if I want to take a look at the account history. So if I go back last month, I can see all the various trades done on my account over the last month. And again, because I've dialed the risk right down, you'll see they are tiny size. So you really can with this, I think, dip your toe in at a level of risk you're comfortable with. You don't need to be risking £500 a day to follow people who are doing the whole copy trade, social trade thing. So there's my running P&L. That's Trade Hub. You can do things like run account statements, look at financing costs, because you're trading on leverage, you're using margin. You can do all of that through Trade Hub. But let's just jump back onto the platform for now. So hang on, where have we gone? Oh, sorry, I've got this full screen, haven't I? I'm struggling a bit tonight, just with the technology. There we go. So I'll jump back onto that, and there we go. There's my overall P&L. But you can with Trade Hub, if you want to. So when you open an account with Aondo, you can set up your copy account and set up your own trading account as well. So you can do your own trading. So you can do the normal stuff that you do with the trading account. You can view account history, get statements, add funds, all that sort of stuff. We saw how to log on. You get the key account numbers at the top, your account value, how much you've got in the account, plus your open profit or loss, how much is tied up in margin, all that sort of stuff. You can monitor and change positions, but just one word of warning about that. If I went in and change this position on the FTSE, let's say I think, well, actually, the stop loss on this trade should be at 7,300. If I go in and edit the position, what it means is that that's now my trade. So if Barbara closes that trade out, it won't be closed out on my account. So if you want to go in and fiddle with the trades that have happened automatically because of people you're following, that's your trade. It won't be closed out when they close it out. So my policy is not to fiddle. Is if I'm following people, I'm following people, and I don't want to worry too much about changing their positions. Okay. You can look at financing costs because you're trading on leverage, but again, because my trades in this example tend to be pretty small, the financing costs are pretty small as well. Run statements, all of that sort of stuff, and it really is as easy as that. Well, in terms of how it works, that's not to say that making money is necessarily easy, but I think as a way of maybe finding a list of traders who have been consistently profitable. Finding traders that maybe fit your overall trading style. I think it's a really complementary way of trading. I think there are some things to watch out for. What I look for is a P&L like this, a nice smooth P&L. So Barbara's P&L has been good, a bit of a big drawdown now and again. I don't necessarily want a P&L like this one here. The venture, hopefully you can see that on your screen, was really flat for ages and then has taken off in recent months and made a 90% return. I bet that's because they're trading Bitcoin. Let's have a look. I bet it is, because look at that P&L. That P&L was decidedly pedestrian until about 2 months ago. Okay, so let's see. So they've gone from, let's have a look at this. September the 26th, up 0.5%. Today, up 90%. I would lay money that's Bitcoin. Let's see. Actually, we can't see it in there. Let's see what trades have they got. Well, maybe I'm doing a disservice. So there's a, oh no, here we go. Bitcoin. The big winners. Actually, you can see the big winners, the big open positions. So we're down 22 on that Apple, up 7 on that, down 100 on Porsche. But look at it down here, up 36,000 on Bitcoin, and up another 36,000 on Bitcoin. So this person, so clearly, what's put a rocket into their P&L is buying and holding Bitcoin. So I think it always pays to keep an eye on the chart, and just be aware. I'm sure if you follow markets, you know the incredible moves we have seen in these cryptocurrencies. Let's have a look at Trader at Work as well, because that one's really taken off recently. So for me, there's nothing wrong with trading the cryptocurrencies. Obviously, it's been a fantastic move. So here we go, Bitcoin in there. Let's have a look at their P&L. Okay, no open positions. Maybe they've taken all their profits on Bitcoin. But I think, again, Bitcoin's added a bit there. But what I'm looking for is hopefully a smooth P&L over a decent period of time. And it's very easy to track this on the trading platform. I don't want somebody who's had a dreadful time and suddenly has a good couple of months. We want to see hopefully a nice, consistent P&L. So we'll start wrapping things up there. Hopefully, it's as straightforward as that. You can see how straightforward it is. To find out more, I blogged about a live account on my platform, on my website, beginning of this year, and I'll do it again next year. I'll do the same experiment again next year. But I think it was a couple of £1,000 in an account in February this year. So you can read about the updates on that on my website. That's tradeafter.com to see how that works. If you have any questions after this, just drop me an email, david@tradeafter.com. But if you'd like to try it out, you get, I think, if you register with Aondo, you get a three-week demo to try this out, where you can follow people with demo money, see how it goes, and to see if it's something for you. But I do think it's interesting, as a way, if you trade yourself, as a way of gaining exposure, hopefully smoothing out the volatility. If you don't trade yourself, but a way of gaining exposure, you think you maybe don't have the time to look at it, I think it's another way of maybe gaining a bit more exposure to the markets. But hopefully tonight's webinar has been an interesting one, and just identify maybe how straightforward it is. I think it is difficult to pick consistently profitable traders, and they all go through their bad patches. But hopefully tonight we've showed that it's I think pretty straightforward to come up with a list of traders who may well be worth following. But we'll wrap things up there. That's just over half an hour. So thanks for coming along. I'll let you get back to your Tuesday evenings. And like I say, any questions, drop me an email, david@tradeafter.com, and I'll try and answer them if I can. Thanks very much.